What the fuck? Dude. What's up, YouTube? You can hear me clearly. Give me a one in the chat real quick so I can see what is happening right now. You can hear me clearly. So I'll run it like this the whole time if you can hear me. I have two phones hooked up to the car, so Trust, can you hear me? What's good, Trust? All right, you guys. Thank you for indulging my tardiness. But as you guys know, I am on my way to Vegas. And while I was supposed to wake up at 7, get on the road at 8 o'clock because I worked too hard yesterday in the heat, I woke up at 7:42 with a massive headache because I am low on electrolytes. So I'm on the road 2 hours later than I wanted to, and I have a headache. But for you guys, I will give you one of these live from life streams. It's like I've always told you, doing a stream every week is one of the most important things that I do. So I always try to be here for you. That being said, like, share, subscribe, support the stream if you feel so inclined. There's no banner across the bottom of the screen. There you go. That is for you, not me. The grumpiest stream over 60 miles per hour. Pretty much no one. Package man. Not really grumpy. Fucking head just hurts. It's like getting squeezed. A friend of mine told me yesterday too, oh, you need some electrolytes. I'm like, yeah. Well, I was outside all day doing inspections. Then I went right to work. I went right from work to do some side work, which was replacing the toilet, 2 toilets, and one of them was upstairs. So maybe a little bit of pocket change, but I was sweating my ass off because I'm fat and out of shape. So by the time I made it home again, it was already 9 o'clock. And I still had to pack and clean up a little bit. And by 2 o'clock, I just went ahead and went to bed. Figure I'll get up early, trim up my visage, and make my road snacks and get on the road. No, if I didn't have to drive, or if I wasn't driving down, I would have put it off another day. But I don't need to check in until 4 or after 4. So I got some time to still stream and drive with you good folks. So, what do I want to talk about today? A couple of things. Has anybody, I'm sure you have, really been tracking this conversation about the canceled Marvel shows with the lead black actors and whatnot? Has anybody been tracking that this week? I thought it was kind of funny. And especially since I talked about it on Sunday. When I talked about it on Sunday, nobody had talked about it. Fucking articles and stuff had been out for a week. Nobody had said a damn thing. So I talked about it. And then somebody jumped their ass up on Twitter and started talking about it. And now all week, everybody has been responding to why these shows and whatnot have been canceled. Marvel's getting away from them, thinking it's about racism and stuff like that. Not really. Me personally, I never thought it was about racism. I thought it was really just telling of what they concern themselves with and what they do under the cover of one announcement. San Diego Comic Con, everybody was hyped about a Ghost Rider. They don't know what Ghost Rider Ryan Gosling is playing. They just know he's playing Ghost Rider, and everybody is a Ghost Rider fan. New Black Panther is coming out. New casting for T'Challa 2. Nobody is thinking about the other black folks that, the other black males that just don't get to continue with the MCU. Okay. Yeah, I understand. I don't blame any of that shit on Ryan Coogler and stuff. But no, that's a Marvel machination. Okay. That is Marvel doing what they do to try to cover one thing and show you another by showing you another. Kansas City Shuffle. You look right, you look left, and you got socked in the mouth or kicked in the balls. Now, for me, I didn't call it racism, but the telling part is how they hide stuff and what they get off. And at this rate, it should be pretty clear to see Marvel's tactics in a precognitive way and not a reactionary way. Like, oh, it happened. What does this mean? Should have been able to call that shit. Told y'all months ago that Mahershala Ali was better cutting his cutting bait and leaving. That nobody would look bad upon him if he left. because Marvel has screwed around for way too damn long. I said it right here on this screen. Doesn't take a wise prognosticator to see that kind of shit. It's just common sense. So then finally announcing, like, yeah, we're not going to be able to do it. Shala's moved on. That's a Marvel thing. That's why Mahershala came out with a statement letting them know, look, they have years. And they got plenty of money. And why did he do that? To take their fucking excuses away from them. No excuses on why you didn't get it done. You didn't get it done because you didn't want to get it done. That is the mentality of somebody from the Bay. Plain and simple. I'm here, you say you want to do this, let's get it done. If it doesn't get done and it takes you years to get around to finally saying, no, we're not going to do it, it's you. It ain't got nothing to do with the project. It is you. You had the time and opportunity. If you wanted to get it done, it would have got done. And that was what I said in my stream last week. We'll see how quick this Ghost Rider movie come out. We'll see how quick it does. I bet you this shit come out fast track, less than 2 years. Bet money. Shala Ali is not the kind of actor that you can just throw him any old thing. He'll take the hit to his career to keep pushing. You got to look at these scripts. You see more of this dog shit than we have heard about through leaks or anything else. He wasn't with it. He wasn't for it. It wasn't happening. Let's see how quickly this Ghost Rider comes about. Just see. Now, my point was being made. The point that I was making is this. Marvel handicaps these black-led franchise or IPs. I think it was a tragedy the shit they gave Anthony Mackie to work with. It's cobbled together, let me grab all these loose, dangling plot points, movie that they gave him. And then on top of that, gave him some of the worst CG since god dang She-Hulk. It makes it look like they actually spent some money on She-Hulk, but they didn't give a damn about Captain America Brave New World. Some of the worst CG. Reshoots or not. You could have canceled that one. And nobody would have been upset. As long as you came back to it, right, nobody would have cared. But no, you put that shit out there as crappy as it was. I said it at the time I saw the movie. There were things that were really good in the movie that would have worked. They didn't follow the natural course of where they should have went. They wanted to make this political message. So they used his goddamn movie to try to tie up all these loose ends, make their political message, throw some new characters in there without any build-up, and sunk that damn movie for Anthony Mackie. Rolled his ass out there and let him take the slings and arrows of that shit. It was crap. The movie had some good points. But the failure, it wasn't Anthony Mackie. That was all on Marvel's side. What they wanted to do, how they wanted to go about it, what they wanted to push out there as a Marvel product. And it looked shoddy, slipshod, bullshit. And I told you at the time, they would do something like this just to say, see, putting the black guy in front of it doesn't work. Bullshit. Bullshit. If that's the case, how did you get Black Panther? You gave Ryan Coogler some say-so. Everybody came onto the project wanting to do it justice. Some of them major actors took pay cuts. Pay cuts. Do a comic book movie. They turned out a product that was superior. Your $1 billion movie, your first. You guys thought you could do it better. You could rush it out, even though Chadwick had died. You wanted to throw some more agenda shit into it with the lesbian Dora Milaje and shit like that. And what did you get? Wakanda Forever. How did that go? What's your involvement? Yeah, people could say it made a lot of money. Yeah, based on Chadwick being dead, right? And all the actors in the movie crying, dealing with their grief over the loss of their friend. Then you say you're not even going to recast him. He ain't coming back. Like, why the fuck not? To give the insult of having, is it John Hurt, Thunderbolt Ross, pass away, but you immediately recast him with Harrison Ford? You just don't want them characters out there, is what it is. That is what it is. And then you give Anthony Mackie, Sam Wilson, his own movie with all the broken toys from your other vehicles thrown together with, if you go through that damn movie, everything in that movie, aside from Anthony Mackie and Isaiah Bradley and Joaquin Torres, was from other failed movies. Everything. The only thing new that you gave us was Red Hulk and Sabra, who wasn't named Sabra. She's just a diminutive fucking, I guess, mutant, even though they didn't clarify. A diminutive Black Widow. Mm-hmm. That's what you gave us. And then you let the movie get by with very little support from the studio just to prove a point or just to have the excuse that, see, these movies don't do well. On the television side, we wanted the Armor Wars. You had pitched that a while ago. Everybody's down for it with Don Cheadle. What did you do? Sidelined him and then pushed him to the backseat to run Riri Williams up there, which nobody wanted and nobody liked. He gave us the Ironheart show, and now the Ironheart show is going to be the lead-in for Armor Wars. No, Tony Stark is the lead-in for Armor Wars. And it would have been a little bit more interesting had you did that after Endgame and had Rhodey going around taking back pieces of Tony's tech that people had stolen, shutting down their soups and whatnot. That'd have been fun. Would have been. You didn't do that. You wanted to do Ironheart because it was the next character you wanted to float out there really quick. No backstory, no build up, out of a movie that made its money off of the death of an actor, but was not well received either, with all the agenda thrown into it. You can count Riri Williams as a part of that. It would have made more sense to skip her and run with Doctor Doom in that movie in the background trying to find vibranium. Then, oh, we got to introduce a female. It bombed. And even though B-dubs at times don't want to see themselves as part of the black community when men can benefit from it, it was definitely part of the black community then because the men take the punishment for it. Now you're not seeing no armor wars. Now Wonder Man has the unfortunate distinction of being the last show at the tail end of the goose pate poop that Bob Iger forced Marvel to get done and get out. It was Echo, it was Ironheart, it was Agatha, and it was Wonder Man. Each one of those previous shows, the preceding shows, tried to introduce a new character, a mutant or some such, right? And the way they did it was so haphazard, it didn't really make sense to the damn story. Like having Mephisto show up in Ironheart because you got the hood there. Okay, 2 for 1. Agatha all along, who do you get? You get Wicked. What up, Malika? You get Wicked thrown in there. Okay. You got Jennifer Kale thrown in there. You linked to Ghost Rider. Okay. Race swapped her, but most people don't know who the fuck Jennifer Kale is, so they're not going to be able to complain until she shows up in a Ghost Rider movie because they don't know the character anyway. Wonder Man, you got Trevor Slattery showing up again, but you get low key the origin of Wonder Man. Yes, he's race swapped, but the reason I never cared that he was race swapped is because he's ionic energy anyway. He looks purple. It can be anybody under purple. So as long as they get to the point where he's powering up and he look purple, what difference does it make if he's black or white? Now the show had little to no expectations at all. Nobody was looking for it at all. Except those curious-minded geeks who are willing to give things a chance and not write it off because I read the whole book by the cover and it was attached to this other thing, so I didn't need to bother to watch it. You watched this show. The show is interesting. They actually fixed Trevor. He's not just a goof. You get to see what he was going through in Iron Man 3, in Shang-Chi, in the Hail to the King stuff. You find out what all of that was with him. And bring him back to a point I don't want to see the character go on. I would have been interested to see a season 2 because I'm more interested about really how does Simon's powers work? He seems insanely powerful without having a terrible ass one buff arm, one weak arm. Oh shit, I forgot Secret Invasion. Jesus. The bullshit, the shit job they did on that shit. So, point being is that Marvel has done their duty to scuttle shows with black leads. They have made some of the worst decisions, not in their casting, not in their casting, of the management and the writing of these damn shows. The worst. And they've done it to very name recognizable, respected actors. Every time. If I went down the list and said Mahershala Ali, Yahya Abdul-Mateen, Sam Jackson, Anthony Mackie, which one of those four do you not know? Which one of those four have you not seen in major motion pictures? But no, I have to hear that the movies are crap and it was because of gender swap. No, the movie is crap because the writing sucked. And some of them didn't take the same approach as Mahershala, didn't have it in a contract like Mahershala to say, nah, this ain't right. I'm not doing this. I'm not playing fourth fiddle to a bunch of women in my title character's movie. The fuck is that? What, we doing Blade Trinity all over again? Oh, hell no. Nah. I saw that piece of shit. No, absolutely not. You want me, you get it right. All the rest of them didn't say that, or they don't have that in their contract. Because I would believe Anthony Mackie, being from the South, being from St. Louis, I believe, since the reports were on the set of that damn thing, he was pissed off about not having a script for that movie. If he had it in his contract, he would have walked too. The movie would have never got made. Marvel did this shit on purpose. Every movie that they have personally, movie or show that they have personally had some control over, has been a kind of a flop. The ones that they give the director some control over and pull their hands out of it are successes. Black Panther, X-Men 97 season 1, successes. This goes back to the same mentality of why I've told you before, coming out of the 90s into the 2000s and stuff, that these movies did better the less people knew the characters, because the companies didn't care that much what you did with them then. They didn't. They didn't give a shit about it. That's why you have the version of Blade you have from Wesley Snipes. They didn't really give a shit. They didn't have their hands in it. They didn't put their hands in it till it made some money. God damn it. This is my turn again. Fucking jerk off. So I hate people sitting back there. Oh, all you damn Real well. So I wouldn't call it racism. I don't know if it's racism. They hired those damn people anyway. An actual racist wouldn't even hire you. It would, unless you're good at what you do and you can make them some money. Then they don't give a shit. Then they don't give a shit. Now, these actors and people at Marvel wanted to do it. They hired them. And when I've heard somebody assert that, oh, it was Disney's involvement that actually is the problem. Could be. Y'all know Disney got a hard on for the message. Shout out to the critical drinker. This phrase, not mine. They got a hard on for the message. They don't have a problem sticking it in anything. So that could be it. But then it would make Marvel have no responsibility in it now. What? And you do make these movies. Disney fronts you the money. But you do make these movies. I don't believe they're Disney writers who are the ones writing this crap. It's Marvel writers. So if there's a problem there, it's probably with them. Come on, get out the goddamn way. Fuck nut. Stupid asses. Big truck, small brain. Fucking idiots. I did this the last time I was driving to Vegas streaming. Missed my turn. So, for me, the inherent sabotage that happens to these movies is the problem. Hey, two Trev, well, you hear some profanity behind the wheel, especially in California. There's some California drivers that are just dumb as hell. That dude was one of them. This is why, at the height of the road rage stuff, where people were shooting each other on the freeways, you realize that happened in California first, right? Yeah, because that's what ended up happening. The first thing you do is yelling at them from your car. Second thing you do is get up on the side of them so you can see what kind of idiot you're dealing with, and you're still cussing. They not gonna back down and just, my bad, nothing like that. No, they mad because you called them on doing bad. So now y'all just both cussing. The next thing that's gonna happen is they either gonna flip you off, something to incite you more, or they gonna stop their car and get out and throw it. Most people want to flip you off. That's what motherfuckers was getting shot at. Because riding with the blicky in California, in some places, is a must. Don't be stupid. Don't be stupid. Gotta have something, depending on where you roaming. And that's why. That's why they was getting shot at. Our driving test, I remember you were supposed to always be courteous to other drivers. If you did something wrong, just, my bad. Okay. Nah, fuck you. Gotta have you throwing hands at a stoplight. I drive from Riverside. Oh, My bad too, Triv. I'm telling you something you already know. Cause y'all was bad too. SoCal, oh my God. Like a scene out of Heat. For a traffic altercation. Holy shit. Never mind. Never mind. You got it. You got it, Triv. You got it. You are well versed, young son. Uh, so my point in calling them out was that they sabotage these movies and shows. And the cancellations are actually telling because even the shows that do well, they still find a way to get rid of, if there's a black male in front of them, they find a way to get rid of him. And my biggest example of that is that Bo DeMeo show, outside of the Jonathan Majors show. Just ruined these dudes' careers. At this rate, I wonder, outside of this David Jones, what other new black actors are even going to bother to sign on with Marvel to do it? Why would you? Because you see how they've done the ones they've had, and these have been some top tier actors. Why would you sign on for that? I'm curious. That's the real question. You can't even get a Oscar winner. You can't even get a movie done with an Oscar winner. Come on, man. The only way to prove, the only way to prove that wasn't some bullshit behind the scenes with Marvel is that the Ryan Gosling goes for come out. Not be good. That's the only way. At least proven in a visual sense to where you can see it. And that would be proven the case that, oh no, they didn't sabotage those movies. See, this one couldn't even come out. Yeah, I forgot Chidwell Ejiofor. He should have been the big bad in Doctor Strange. And Idris. Yeah, y'all know, y'all been watching this shit too. Gave Idris a dumbass son who want to be named Axe. What? Sensitive ass. So, no, man, look, y'all already know Chitwell, I'm saying his name wrong. Ejiofor is a great actor. He was just in Back Rooms. How much money did that make? Sir Idris Elba is so respected, they knighted this motherfucker. And the biggest role they could give him was him being the doorman for Asgard. Jaman Hamsu, same deal. You gave him 2 movies propping up the white characters. Guardians of the Galaxy, which gave you one of the most memeable lines. Who? Who? Star Lord. Who? Fuck are you? And then you put him in Captain Marvel to play his original self. It was in and out too. These are all great black male actors. Anybody on any other movie would be happy to have them and would give them a prominent role. Will constantly keep using. If you don't believe me, what do you think a Ryan Coogler could do with any of these actors in a movie? Even if he had just one of them, what would he do with it? What do you think he'd do with it? Come on, man. If he announced a movie with just one of these names in it, you'd be like, oh shit, that might be pretty good. But no, it squandered all of these guys. To me. Oh, and don't forget the high evolutionary fracture. That brother. They don't, like I said at the time, they don't know how to write black male characters well. They just don't. And the main reason is it's not their experience. And I don't give a fuck what multiracial guy they got sitting back there writing this shit. Apparently, he don't got no experience with it either. Because the only one that gave you any success is the gay black man and the one from Oakland. Cinque. So Marvel has what I have said, a black male problem. They cannot write black male characters well. And all they do is put them in substandard vehicles and then throw the characters away. The same way they threw your Black Panther away. Wasn't trying to recast. We give you Shuri. That's just going to be it. Okay, if that was such a boss move, and that was what the culture was feeling, why isn't Black Panther 3 just all about Shuri? With no T'Challa 2. Why? Black Panther ain't supposed to be about all females. All I can say. This proves that the dominant culture will use and abuse black audiences and talent. Goddamn. Malika, we still live in America, right? The culture, the relevance has been propped up on that. That's the way it's been. The problem is I would like to see people given their just due, to be given that fair chance. Because when I listen to all these other YouTubers in the geek sphere talk about this stuff, that's what they tried to lean on. Well, they had a shot. They had a shot. And that to me is the back step from, a kind of a racist point of view. I'm not saying they're racist. I'm just saying that is the racist, rebuttal. I don't know what the fuck you do in your private life. I only know what you put up on the internet. And what you gave me was that standard trope of people who are actually fucking bigoted as fuck. Well, they had a fair shot. Just like I know, the movies were shit. They were written poorly. The only difference is they gave that shit to the black actors, but they didn't give that shit to the white boys. Some dumb motherfucker wanted to jump out there and say, oh, what about all the female projects that have been canceled? What female projects that have been canceled? Everyone went through. And yes, their projects suck too. So because it was more females than males, that negates the male complaint. Shut your dumb ass up. Fucking roly-poly. That does not negate the problem that Marvel has with black male lead characters. If Ryan Coogler wasn't doing this Black Panther movie, you wouldn't have another one. Because who else is going to do it? The motherfucker they got to write Brave New World. The person who wrote Wonder Man. The guy who wrote X-Men 97 season 1? No. A bunch of fucking Muppets sitting back there talking inclusion to their exclusion. I just want people to be given a fair shot, and you put the same effort into all your projects. This is the same thing I get on my coworkers about when we do work for residents. You can see the effort they put in on some residents. They get to them black ones, and it's like, no, this will be good enough. No, fuck you. Do the same job for them that you was doing for them other motherfuckers. Same job. It's the same work. It's not supposed to matter who's the recipient of it. You do the same job. That's your integrity. But what you can see, they haven't done the same job. What you can see from watching Marvel, writing is a problem. If it wasn't, how do you explain that first season of Daredevil Born Again? How genius was that shit? How do you describe the writing in Echo? The character nobody asked for. How do you explain the writing in Ironheart? Agatha all along. And that piece of shit is getting a trilogy. Getting a trilogy done, mind you. And the one that's been heating up the internet today, or feeding the internet this week, has been She-Hulk. And Jessica Gal, the frumpy Asian girl who act like a white chick who's mad that black men don't like her. Or men are not interested in her ass. And put that shit in the She-Hulk. Because she browbeat them with inclusion. And they capitulated. She got a fucking show and then don't know anything about what she pitched the show on. It couldn't do like men do which was figure it the fuck out or hire somebody who did. No. Her crime was she was making fun of Kevin. No, her crime was that she is shit. One of these motherfuckers who failed upwards by getting by on the same kind of shit that black folks fought and struggled for. And this is what you get. People running through that breach that our bodies had to open. It ain't no better, no good, but just crying. The patriarchy. There's so much inclusion. It's not diverse enough here. Simple-minded shit. So I was the Punisher written out of the second season. I don't know offhand, other than he was probably doing something else. I mean, he was doing the Odyssey and Spider-Man, Brand New Day. I think that would take priority over goofing around on some Marvel show for a little bit. Especially after the first season was kind of shit. It was. That's not a secret. They even know it. That's why for the second season, they went and hired the people who actually worked at Netflix that gave them the successful Daredevil show. They had to go hire them, bring them back. Because they bullpen couldn't get it the fuck done. They bullpen had me hating Vanessa. Assholes. I love that actress. She fine as hell to me. As an older lady, she fine as hell to me. They had me want that character to die miserably. I hate her. I fucking hate Vanessa, man. Kill Vanessa, please. Please, can somebody take her out? That's what they had me doing. From bad, their writing. Their bullpen of writers. That is the problem with Marvel right now. That has been the problem for the last more than a couple of years. Their writing sucks. Their writing sucks. And the stuff being done by people who obviously don't know and don't care about these goddamn characters at all. It is a 9 to 5. They punch in the clock, and they can put on their resume they worked at Marvel. Stolen valor, motherfuckers. But not anybody who's written a successful show. No, they got rid of that dude and want to take his credit from him because make all the rest of them look bad. I assume some of y'all is watching X-Men 97 season 2 right now. Where's the writing on some of that stuff? Fucking hell. This last episode, when I did my Patreon, I had to stop it and count. 4 writers on one 28-minute episode. Oh, this has to be hacked and slashed to shit. In the middle one is the person who was the lead writer on the show. Oh, I see what this is. I need to remember all of your names because you all suck. I need to remember your names. So when this third season comes around and you got your chest all out and it says writing credit by just one name, you can see how shit the episode is. I will remember it. because you don't have no credit on that good stuff. You just trying to springboard off of it. It's like a woman saying she's abused and nobody asking her, did you ever call the police? Oh, I worked on X-Men 97. Oh, the association's going to be that everybody thinks of that Gambit and that Remember It episode, season 1. But they ain't going to credit you to being one of the shit writers in season 2. Same thing with working at Marvel. Oh, in game, and it's done. Oh, yeah. Did some pretty good movies for a while. Yeah, you know. But don't know you responsible for writing Echo and Agatha. You need fans to write. You need fans to write and appreciate and respect these characters. That is not what you have right now. Like, you talked about this before, why at a point it made sense for Marvel to bring in Adam Brashear, right? At a point it made sense. They did it in Black Panther. But after a point, it did not make any sense. I would not want them to bring him anywhere close to the MCU right now. For one reason solely. Their writing sucks. The writing of these characters sucks. So no, I don't want them to ruin another character. Saw a video yesterday, the guy was mentioning Night Thrasher. Would I want them to bring in Night Thrasher, the New Warriors, into the MCU? No. Because they'd ruin the character. They would ruin the character. And I don't need any more black characters ruined. The only holdout is Black Panther because Ryan Coogler is writing the shit. A black man with black experiences. You know, the same shit that people hate in movies. No. No, I don't want them to touch Adam. I don't. See what they did to Monica Rambeau. She's just out there floating in another universe. They don't know what to do with her now. She even there with a version of her mama. Okay. What you doing with it? Nothing. What you planning to do with it? Doomsday? Yeah, we're gonna board wipe all this shit. Because we have fucked it up enough. We're gonna start fresh and fuck it up anew. With the same people that's writing us into the toilet. Pixar laid off a lot of people recently, right? But where's the Marvel list for layoffs? Trust me, I'm not a fan of people getting laid off. I've worked construction. I know what a layoff is. I've been on unemployment because I was ushered out of a job. It sucks. You got to get your hustle up. But I do not have a problem with people who are bad at their jobs getting that job taken from them. I don't have a problem with that at all because I don't want people who are bad at their jobs doing them. That's not a benefit for me. It's not a benefit for anybody in this situation. What good is it to have a bunch of mediocre hack writers writing shows that you're trying to earn money and everything off of? semi truck. He was gonna run right into that car carrier, and nobody was letting him over. Like, yeah, let the big dog through. God damn. You want to be in the middle of a 15-car pileup, and that's just the ones on the back of the cargo carrier? Stupid asses. Oh, and the dishwasher and the Prius. Got respect for truckers. Long haul truckers. I love it. Keep that supply chain rolling. So Marvel's issues are self-inflicted, and the main one is bad writing. And you would think that would be the easiest one to fix, unless you got the kids in school. You see what they are and are not teaching them. Then it wouldn't be surprising at all. But I'm already immoral. Already immoral. I'm on my way down to Vegas and you ain't there again. But all that bullshit talk about playing pool. Where you at, bro? Be here all week. I know a flight from North Carolina probably ain't but 5 hours. Get your ass on a flight. Catch a flight. Let me get this smoke on a real table. Oh, all right. So Marvel and their troubles and the throwing away of the black male lead characters. Don't have to be racist, but it don't have to be right either. They said it was racist. I just said it was wrong and very telling. They sabotaged those movies. They gave him shit material, little promotion. Suspect as fuck. Now, if you can look at the same thing that I've seen, you watching the same shows that I'm watching, seeing the company that I'm watching doing the same dumb shit, you explain it. You explain it. And then try to tell me how the rest of the TV watching populace don't like actors like Don Cheadle, Mahershala Ali, Anthony Mackie, Chiwetel Ejiofor, Idris Elba, Yahya Abdul Mateen. You sit there and tell me how other people don't like those actors. Sam Jackson. Explain it to me. Because it seems like anything else that these guys do is successful. Just not the shit they do at Marvel. Couldn't bust my ass in a game of 8 ball if it was a pinata hanging above the table. Just understand something. There's a difference between a win and an ass beat. A win is determined by 1 point. 1 point. That's all it takes to determine a winner and a loser. 1 point. A beating is determined by the number of points past that. 7, 8, 10 or more, you got your ass beat. How do you know who got their ass beat in a soccer game? because they had like 7 points. They can win by one, but to determine a beating, it has to be substantial. Substantial. I don't think you can do that, bro. I can say this, not to toot my own horn, but I've done well against a professional pool player. I don't think you can say that. So we ain't on the same level right now, bro. In fact, when I go down here, I'm trying to play my next life ex-wife, Jeanette Lee. I'm signing up to play Jeanette Lee when I get down here because I want to play. I want to get another hug, nice little snuggle, little picture time, and then I want to play her in some pool and try to beat her ass. Now, the goal might be to beat her ass, which means I run the table or some shit like that, a 9-ball on the break, which would be lucky. But I will settle for a win, which means just one ball. I just need to make one ball. I just need to make one ball to win. That's it. So she looked at me and recognized, I've seen you before, haven't I? Yeah, you did last year. Bought your iced tea. And I proposed to you. And I meant that shit. Told me in your next life, I'll see you there. See you when you get there. Okay. It's 93 now. Guess it's time to turn on the old AC. Like, share, subscribe, support stream if you feel so inclined. It's all good to have your yucks and stuff, but it does nothing if you don't support the stream. Support your interest, don't be interested about the sport. So, in the vein of talking about Bo DeMayo, since it keeps jumping up, who actually watched that last episode of X-Men 97? Put it in the chat. Put it in the air. It's cool about it. So let's set it up. What's up, Q Hefner? Q Hefner? So, somebody put it in the chat. What do they think? Let's see. I'm trying to make quickly, succinctly. I don't need to try to drive and read a paragraph. What did you think of the episode? Put it that way. Did the episode make sense to you? That's a yes or no question, but it doesn't leave room for elaboration. You need to do it when I ask a good question. What was your favorite part of the episode? I haven't seen it. You'll see it tomorrow. Okay. Two people out of, damn, this is bad odds, bro. If this was a jury, I'd get convicted as an innocent man. It's only one of you know the experience. Hey, wow. The episode was, dare I say, all right, but it was some things in it that seemed really inconsistent. I can get Cable having strategy, but losing his temper and shit and throwing his gun, it's not Cable. Damn it, my plan didn't work. With telepathy, your plan should always work. And being a telepath and hanging around two other telepaths, somebody should have picked up that your intentions was not up to snuff, bro. Your intentions were not pure. Now, Gambit coming back and him looking the same as he did in his regular clothes was kind of a disappointment. I was looking to see the Horseman of Death comic book version, but I guess they feel like, 5-year-olds watching that wouldn't even be able to tell that that was Gambit. So that kind of bummed me out. I didn't mind the whole thing with Gambit trying to talk Rogue into doing this thing, hinting at the Mr. and Mrs. X, them getting married, all that's recent history stuff. But to look at the episode and review, it wasn't really Gambit doing the shit anyways, or Apocalypse doing. I saw a video yesterday. The guy was suggesting in his short that Apocalypse was in control of Remy, and it was Apocalypse trying to propose to Rogue because he fell in love with Rogue from that little fireside chat back in Egypt. No, I don't think he fell in love with her, but I could see him using that idea of the chat that they had as understanding that's the way into Rogue to bring back the woman that he does want, which was Chandra, the external. I can see that, but I don't think he was in love with Rogue. Now, my best part in that episode, here's the other thing before I get to the best part. The other thing is they left something down because one, I don't believe the external should be that easily killed, even though dying and coming back is the external thing, right? You ain't hit them in their heart, something like that, they're coming back. Just what it is. That's why they're externals. An idea that was never flushed out enough. The other thing, which is taking this crystal and then just inserting it into Rogue. Well, I don't remember seeing the crystal come back out. So does that mean she has still got all this apocalypse power in her? Because that's all it is, right? It's a portion of his power he put into a stone for Chandra. Chandra's gone. The stone is in her chest now, Rogue's chest now. So does that mean she still has all this power? Come on, man. Get the fuck out the way with your Tesla. Fucking moron. Fucking Asian dude with a Tesla. Two things that need to be punched in the face right now. So I don't know. Maybe they'll tie that up in the next episode. Too. Seemed like pretty late in the game to introduce something like that, but you know, it is what it is. Apocalypse being a dark passenger inside of Remy's mind is an interesting thing, but it just more so sets up that dark passenger kind of thing for Xavier in Austin. The thing I say is, look, they're gonna stop. They're gonna have to stop playing in Xavier's face about Magnus getting killed, bro. They're gonna have to stop. That is gonna have some deleterious effects on the mutant world. They need to quit playing in that man's face about his friend getting killed. That is not okay. It's bad enough Apocalypse, vaporized this dude right in front of Xavier. And then wouldn't even kill Xavier because he was like, you ain't even worth it. But no, the next time he see you, you gonna say something about that again? Bro, it's been 3,000 years. Let it go. Nope. He gonna keep turning the knife. And all Xavier can do is sit there and look at him angry and cry. You gonna create your own worst enemy, bro. You gonna create your own worst enemy. Leave that man alone about Magnus. He is not dealing with that shit well. First it's danger, then it's you. Leave him alone about Magnus. Y'all gonna fuck up the whole world messing around with that man. He ain't even had a chance to heal yet. I don't know how much time has passed since they came back from 3000 BC. But it seemed like it's the same week. Shit, can he breathe a little bit? Stall him out. Stall him out, Apocalypse. Let Xavier heal a little bit. No, they go right at his nuts every time. Like, that's gonna be bad. They cannot hit him. Then the favorite part of the episode was Nightcrawler. Favorite part is the mind controlled Nightcrawler v everybody. He was whooping their ass. That was a beautiful thing to see. Nightcrawler just going in on folks. My favorite scene of that is when you just see it from his perspective, where he's baffing in, punching somebody in the face, baffing out, bow, get the next one. Baff out again, bow, get the next one. Like all over the place, not in a straight line, up in the air, down low. He whooping. Look, he tossed Psylocke. That is a prodigious fight. That is a prodigious fight. He gave her the what for and let her dust her back under the Blackbird. He was getting at him, bro. Like, Nightcrawler is a problem. If he ever go bad, you're gonna have issues. It's gonna be a whole lot of dead X-Men. I need to see the old man Nightcrawler book. We need to make that comic. He had lost his faith, forgot about the religion, and he just out there on a tear killing people and shit. Because you're not gonna catch him. I'd really be interested to see how you're gonna catch him. That would be a nightmare problem. But it was fun. In the show, it was fun. That's somebody who actually knows their character giving you a scene like that. I believe it. I don't think it was one of the other three writers. No. Because who would look at it from that way? No one who didn't know the character. How did she survive 1,000 years? She's external. They are very long lived. And what the flashback they gave you was Apocalypse met her back in Egypt in that ancient times. He fell in love with her. He gave her a portion of his power in that in that gem, which made her immortal. Like Apocalypse is immortal. She just lived on, giving him fractions of her power off to the thieves or the assassins guilds. She came west to the Americas. Now, the part that bothers me about this, I haven't seen Beastly Nerd in here yet. Art of Inmore might know. I can't remember exactly when they start putting this shit on Apocalypse that he needs to start body swapping all the time to stay alive. I'm like, I don't ever remember that being a part of his thing except in the movies. And it came about in the movies because it had something to do with Egypt. It had something to do with Pharaoh's association with Egypt. And Stargate was a popular movie, and that's what that damn alien did. But Apocalypse has been immortal since his mutant powers kicked in. His first act of getting his powers was dying and coming back. So when did this, I need to swap into another body bullshit come up? That's stupid as hell. She was too fragile to survive 1,000 years. You would think because of how easy Gambit took her out, but you have to remember Gambit was at that point was supposed to have been enhanced by Apocalypse into death, even though they never called him that. So his powers got a huge upgrade. And what his powers actually do, which is igniting stuff on the subatomic level or kinetic energy. That could probably kill her for a while. But her as well. What did she do? She dematerialized. I don't call that a death. Dr. Manhattan dematerialized the first time. First time he stepped into that chamber, he got ripped apart. We know how that happened later on. Figured out how to put himself back together, and we good. We often running with Dr. Manhattan. So any of those deaths like that, if there's no body, they're not really dead. It shows you Remy's body. Same thing with Magic. Magic shouldn't be dead because she should have been able to portal out of the way. And her smiling back at her brother and just letting herself get hit by the beam. The fuck out of here. No, she's gone. She out of here. Believe it or not, that's a popular character. All I think she did is went on to limbo. smiled as a goodbye and already knew what the hell she's about to do. I'm heading to limbo. Don't worry, Peter, I'll be okay. Smiles. So I think that's what could happen. But, it's just my thoughts. Now, I'm not sure if I got it wrong or somebody else has it wrong, but they believe that the next episode is the last episode for this season of X-Men 97. By my count, memory of last season, they did 10 episodes, meaning they have one more episode, two more episodes to do. One this week and one the following week. Now, I don't know for sure, but I'd like to believe the show will be better. Might have a good finish. Possibly, maybe. But I'm not holding out hope for it. 9 episodes this season. So to get one more season and one less episode, or they just left us in a shit place there. Now, the same video I watched that was talking about the idea of Apocalypse taking over Gambit at the time was reminding us of the fact that there should be 2 Apocalypses running around right now. One from 3000 BC that's riding around in Gambit right now, like the Shadow King, which ain't his damn thing. The other one would be from the future that came back to 97. Same Apocalypse, but in a timey-wimey sense, you have to understand that if you're far in the future, you go back to the past, your past self is still there. So you can both be in the same place at the same time. You can witness events that have already happened. My thinking is you're not supposed to interact with each other, though. You fuck it up. But there should still be another Apocalypse. Now, this guy's video suggests that Apocalypse from 3,000 years in the future jumps into this desiccated body of Apocalypse from 3,000 years ago. That's an interesting idea in the sense that he would just go forward from this point and he'd be caught in a time loop because if he moves forward in time at the rate of time, you would just end up at the same point where he'd have to come back and jump his body again. Weird. This is what makes Kang hard to do. Because Kang does a lot of shit like this where he's crossing over his own wake in time stream. So he will run into himself at different points and talk to himself, which evidently would change the way he ends up, or will get him to being exactly what he is at that point. So, uh, my phone is getting heated. This is my work phone, the one I'm using for corrections. Los Banos. 6 o'clock. 5 hours of this shit. So, with one episode left, do you guys think that it'll be satisfying? From where they left it last episode, I don't think they can get a satisfying hit out of this. Everybody texting me. Right. Yeah, too many loose ends. I agree. Too many loose ends. I'm sure they leaving them in the sense that, oh yeah, we'll tie all these up in the next season. I'm not thinking you can do a good job with next season, personally. Because in my view, the driving force that made the first season good is not there now. So I don't know what the hell y'all gonna be doing. And I'm not really holding out any hope that it'll be good. I'm thinking it'll be standard Marvel affair with bad writers coming in, taking over a show that was good, and putting their bullshit in. What makes the show unwatchable. You'll just be suffering through it like Rings of Power. Like, I don't want to see it, and I don't know who's watching the shit, but they keep putting it out. If they were smart, they would, but they're not. Shit, they won't even hire Jonathan Majors back for a fucking Pinky. Not like he beat the bitch up or anything. Just ran from it. Put her in the cab and ran from her ass. So I don't know. The season will go down and fun. I think episodes 3 and 4 were good. That's what you'll remember this season for. The rest of that shit, a lot of filler episodes with rush content. And look at this. Look at all the characters we have here right now. Well, it didn't make much sense. Why they would even be there. What's the through line? How does gets back to what we tuned into the season for, which was Apocalypse. I never needed my Apocalypse to be in love with anybody. I never did. I needed him to be in love with the idea of finding the strongest in the fittest. That's what I needed him to be in love with. I need him having a black chick that went somewhere else and raised powerful people. God damn. What do you want? Somebody's going to disappoint me. Excuse me. He said, so they need to call Jonathan Majors. They might as well. They ain't got shit to lose. What, they going to lose some standing? People going to be mad at them because they hired Jonathan Majors? Oh, get the fuck out of here. If you stuck it out with Jonathan Majors, you wouldn't have to be wasting all this goddamn money on Robert Downey in this doomsday. Everything would still be in place, but you wouldn't have spent as much money on that one actor. Doesn't mean that Robert Downey Jr. might not get people out to the theater. And I like Robert Downey for a long time, ever since the 80s. But that was a waste of money. That was a colossal waste of money. This whole movie cannot make. I don't see it making money, even with a little bit of a glow up from Spider-Man: Brand New Day. I don't know how you think that's going to translate to y'all having something to do, because he's going to be in it. Is he in Doomsday or is he in Secret Wars? I don't think I remember seeing him in the trailers for Doomsday, because the whole cast is not in the first trailer, right? Which means they're probably broken up between two movies. No, you still have to contend with what Marvel always contends with, is the idea that people have of Marvel is that the writing is shitty. And you've been making some shitty movies. And you only get a little bit of a success with movies when you do shit with Sony and Spider-Man. That's it. So yeah, it made $1 billion. Awesome. What's your cut? What is Marvel's cut of $1 billion Brand New Day movie? What's their cut? It's what, half goes to the theaters, right? Right? Half goes to the theaters. And then what's the split for Sony and Marvel? Is it 60-40? I know it ain't no 50-50. I know goddamn well it can't be 50-50. That'd be a shitty deal. Oh, I think it's probably 60-40. What's left? They made you a bunch of money, but not on you alone. People really want to see Spider-Man. Yeah, Bishop and players were missing last episode. I guess that's supposed to mean they were somewhere fucking. I guess that's what that's supposed to mean. They called up everybody, but Bishop and Polaris were on Do Not Disturb. So I guess they were somewhere getting it the hell on. Whatever. I don't have a problem with a black dude fucking a white chick. Even one with green hair. Hey, attraction is attraction, bro. Especially with a chick with magnetic powers. It is what it is. I don't care. I like to see people getting it in. As opposed quibbling with you over who you got it in with. That's not my business. Not my choice. Knock yourself out. No, he's not in Doomsday. I know he's not in Doomsday. He's in the Secret Wars movie. Doomsday has to be. Understand, this is the Russos. Russos got brought back to give you an Infinity War and Endgame. You're trying to do it again. Lightning in a bottle. So if you already know you got two movies coming and one feeds off the first one, what do you think is going to happen in this one? Saw the trailer. Did you see any characters in that trailer? Or how many characters did you see in that trailer that were not expendable? Those original Fox X-Men, oh yeah, they're not making it out of that movie. I don't see why they would. What's the point? Somebody's world has to be destroyed to let you know how dangerous and how world-defining an incursion is, why not the Fox X-Men universe? Because that shit ain't coming back. It's not coming back. So there's no point in getting all upset about Xavier, Magneto, Cyclops, any of those original Fox X-Men dying. They are going away. This is the last stand, pun intended, for you to see them, for them to get the Marvel treatment, whatever that actually means now, other than poorly written. And then they out of here. They catch a Marvel check, they can get those residuals off of that. But they gone, they out. Going newer, going younger. They already cast Cyclops, so you know James Marsden is not coming back. It's not. You got one check and out, bruh. Just so we can say everybody was represented. JT, you funny as hell. Fractured and Bish. Polaris and Bish. Hey, man. Nothing like a chick that could magnetically make your blood flow where she needed. She'll keep it up. Even if you thought it was over, well, she'll keep it up for you, bro. She got you. By risk or magnetism. We'll call her mistress. You thought Disney got 25%? It could be. They are not in the power position in that deal with Sony. I was being generous saying I'm thinking it was 60-40. If it's only 25%, it's only 25%. It just goes to show that you're not making all the money off of this shit. Your biggest box office cash cows right now are not because of you necessarily. And you're not making the lion's share of the money on any of that. Like with No Way Home, I was glad No Way Home almost hit $2 billion. Yeah, I was. It's a good movie. I mean, Marvel get all of that shit. They don't. It's not their movie. It's a Sony character in a Sony movie in partnership with Disney Marvel. Which means what the partnership means? You get a part, motherfucker. Like, we'll make you a plate, but the banquet is not for you. Get something to go. Shit. At this rate, they do better movies working with Sony than they do by themselves. They might as well see if they can work with Sony on some other shit. Maybe if you work with Sony, or Sony work with you on doing the Venom and the Craven and the Morbius movies, they would have did better. The Madam Webs, you did that shit, didn't work. It might have worked. I don't see why it shouldn't. Yeah, Bishop and Polaris would have been very useful in the last episode. That's why they weren't there. Somebody wasn't thinking about that shit. Which means it was one of the other three writers. They're not the one who understands characters and their powers. Yes, the X-Men without Halle Berry. It shouldn't feel like doing that shit. Maybe she did. There's a video up, a short up yesterday, I think, showing Halle Berry and how bad she's looking right now. Saying, "Quit it! I don't want to fuck up my fantasies." Halle Berry will look pretty hot for a long goddamn time. If she just now start not to look hot, I'm not worried about it. I still have my memories when she was young and supple. It's the rest of you younger motherfuckers who just running into Halle Berry now, post her monsters ball years, and really think she's something to jerk off to. You didn't see her when she was young. Go back to the last Boy Scout. Someone else under the movie she was doing. Holly should be looking good for a long time, barring alcohol and drugs. So I don't need to mess up my fantasies. Yeah, they out there. As a fan, I don't give a shit about Patrick Stewart being wheeled out there at 93. Hey, he took the job, bro. I've been watching Patrick Stewart for a long damn time. I go back to Excalibur and Life Force with Patrick Stewart. Long time. I'm fine with seeing him again. He was the perfect Xavier, other than Ben Kingsley playing Xavier. Patrick Stewart was perfect. If this is his last check from Marvel, it's his last check from Marvel. Same thing with Sir Ian McKellen. If it's the last time they look old, well, yeah, they old. So my thing is, yeah, you getting those original X characters, give them their swan song, send them off well. But man, bring back the first class. I want James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender to catch a Marvel check. I do. I want long hair Xavier. Little style Magneto. I like those. I like those two actors. They probably looking a little bit old right now too, but not as old as the other two guys. That's fine. It's a good send off for them. I'm fine with it. We all getting older, folks. If you don't notice it today, you'll notice it tomorrow. So it's not that big of a deal. They're actors. It's not like they out there doing fucking parkour or something like that. And mind you, Patrick Stewart got the easiest part of the job. All he got to do is sit in the chair with wheels on. At that rate, if I was his age playing the role he's playing, I wouldn't even leave my trailer without being in the chair. Nice pillow, some memory foam or something like that, and I'll be out there on set. Just call me, and I will use that chair the whole time. Could be Weiss. It's worse ways to earn the millions he's going to earn off that shit. I'm not worried about it. I'm still wondering what this movie is going to be, though. Not listening to leaks, not listening to spoilers. Stop listening to people's trailer reactions because they kept wanting to talk about the leaks and the spoilers. The script that was circulating, I don't care. I would like to have my cinematic experience. I don't need that cheap. Some people don't know how to keep a goddamn secret or shut their goddamn mouth. Now, the last thing on Marvel. Here's a question that I thought of. It came out last week that Kevin Feige had talked to Zack Snyder to do something, right? And I was thinking about that and wondering what would Zack Snyder, what project would he be good for in the MCU if he came to the MCU, which he possibly won't because that Warner Brothers thing sounds like they want to bring him back over there. But if Zack Snyder was to come to the MCU, put it in the chat. What would you give him to work on? What would you want to see Zack Snyder direct, character, whatever, in the MCU? Then I'll tell you what I thought. Yeah, Fassbender did give Magneto swag. That's why I like it. If Sir Ian McKellen gave Magneto presents, Fassbender gave him the swag. That motherfucker was too cool. Cool. Swagnito. Hugh Hefner said the defender. See, the only person in this chat that's actually responding, playing along at home, and everybody else just watching. Taking notes so they can go do the content. Here's a question for you, Hugh Hefner. Why the defenders? Why would you put him on the defenders? Put it in the chat. I'm just curious. So I am. Somebody else, no Malika, no two Trevs. Y'all on the East Coast today. I could shut it down. I can more than easily stuff my face off camera than on camera. Yeah, I don't trust it. It's an easier story to tell. So it's three blind mice. You sound like my boy JT. Like, no, like, yeah, Zach can make a movie, but he be having plot holes. Yeah, plot holes. He didn't do bad with the Justice League. No, Snyder Cut of Justice League was actually a more interesting movie. I don't hate Josh Whedon. I just know the studio was involved in that movie, and that's why how shit it was. You should have waited for Zach, let him grieve, and then do the movie. But they rushed it, and they got what they got. Their hands all in it. But his cut was more interesting. It was. Snyder can give you an alpha flight. Yeah, but would the MCU give you an alpha flight? They have a hard enough time concentrating on the Americans. You think you want to get them mixed up in dealing with the Canadian superheroes? Good luck. They have to put Ms. Marvel in front of it. Good point. Good point. They're already cast. He doesn't have to go through a casting process. But that's if you're casting a director, meaning we have this project, we have these actors who want you to come in and do this movie, and thinking he won't have his own input. He'll want to use his own people. All right, so two of you are playing along at home. Appreciate it. It's always better when people actually respond. So here's what I thought. If Zack Snyder was to ever come into the MCU, I would be interested in seeing him do two projects on. If it's a solo character, I'd let Zack Snyder do a Blade movie. I would. I'd let him do a Blade. If he didn't do a Blade movie, I would trust him to do a Midnight Suns. Why do I say that? Well, the Midnight Suns are going to have some demonic, epic level destruction. Going to have some of that. Going to have to deal with some special effects. Zack Snyder knows the special effects, and his shit doesn't always look cheap. He's good for shooting like he a low budget director. Like, oh, we found this parking lot. We can shoot right here. Shoot the Green Lantern right here. Like, somebody's driveway, nigga. That's a Hollywood director. He's good at doing shit like that on the fly and following through with something that he is passionate about and getting it done. He knows how to work with multiple characters. How true they will be represented to the comic book. Well, shit, Marvel ain't doing good at that right now either. So you give him some leeway. You get some grace on some shit. But I know the scope and the feat. If he could give me something like Watchmen with Marvel characters, with the Midnight Suns, then nobody got to say shit about it being too dark because they're all dark characters. It's supernatural. It's not superheroes. It's supernatural. Your greens, your yellows, your browns, and shit like that. Yeah, that's what we use. Because these are the Midnight Suns, not the Daylight Marauders. Okay, or the Daylight Avengers. That could be fun. Why I say I would take him doing a Blade movie is for the same reasons, but one additional. He can do it dark. He can do the supernatural and the special effects because I saw his little zombie movies and stuff like that. There's little difference between a zombie and a vampire, right? So he can handle that. But the other thing is, Zack Snyder does good fight scenes. Zack Snyder can film a good fight scene. It may have a little bit too much slow motion in it, but well, I'll give every director their proclivities. Okay, they have their things that they do, their style. His style was doing that. Tamped it down a little bit, and every fight scene didn't take, you know, 15 minutes. Then it's good. But he could give you a good fight scene because I can tell you this. I don't know if he works with the same fight coordinators or whatever on his movie, but he made me believe that the chick playing Silk Spectre in Watchmen could actually fight because her movements looked good, how he shot it looked awesome. It really looked like they was kicking somebody's ass. It did. What do I need out of a Blade movie? I need him to kick people's asses and kill vampires. It doesn't have to be super dialogue heavy. Blade ain't a talker. But how he does talk is in fight scenes, and that shit needs to be on point. It needs to be shot well, and it needs to be choreographed well. Now, it won't be to the level of the Furious, but if you get close to that in that ballpark, in that stadium, then we all getting hot dogs. Just what it is. Keith Stanfield is Dr. Voodoo. Yeah, they already. This is the thing. Back. Okay. They already had Jericho Drum's brother at Carmitage and Doctor Strange too, which is a straight lead-in for Doctor Voodoo. So Doctor Voodoo could work, but I'm not trusting Marvel to write any black male characters right now. I'm just not. That is another black male character who's into voodoo. Got what is something of the Ogun or something like that. But he does become the Sorcerer Supreme. But they only let Mordo be Sorcerer Supreme in an alternate universe. So why do I think I'm about to get, Jericho? Probably not. Snyder touch on the Marvel characters would be welcome. Yeah, it would be. I mean, it would just be like a tit for tat with DC, right? They got James Gunn. Give us Snyder for a couple of movies. A Midnight Suns movie, but Zack Snyder, there should be some epic shit happen. I can tell you this. Sounds fucked up, I know. But if you told me Doomsday was being directed by Zack Snyder, I'd probably be more interested in seeing it. I probably would. because you know what's going to happen. That shit is going to be epic. Things are getting wrecked. Things are going to get wrecked, bro. It is going to be some epic level destruction happen. My problem with Doomsday right now, after seeing the trailer, yeah, we saw the trailer. I saw Doctor Doom. Yeah, I already knew what he looked like. It's not that big of a deal. My problem is everything looked kind of small. It looks like a lot of damn green screen on sound stages and really close green screen. So green screens are the volume. That's what I'm looking at. And that's worrisome to me because at least in Spider-Man, we saw them out filming Spider-Man in the streets of Scotland or wherever they were, right? We saw them out doing it. So seeing those scenes put together in the movie, they were really driving down the street. He was really swinging from vehicle to vehicle. Seeing that in the movie gave it that feel of authenticity because they didn't rely on uh, a lot of the CG and stuff, which I want. It's a tool. It's not supposed to be the whole deal. Well, when the CG becomes the whole deal, the feeling the movie seems claustrophobic. It seems small. It has no scale. That's just for me. So Snyder could give you that, I believe. So I'd be interested in that. Give him a Blade, or give him a Midnight Suns. Defenders are more ground level, no special effects, no CG. He could give you a good fight scene. So I hadn't even thought about defenders. That would he could probably kick. He could probably rock that. You don't have to worry about special effects and none of that. You just have to do fights and make it dark. Make it Marvel Knights dark. Probably pull that shit off. But if Kevin Feige was talking to Zack Snyder about cooking with the MCU, I don't know what he would be thinking about even trying to pimp on him. On Kevin Feige might be Shang-Chi too or some shit. Which it seems like since Brand New Day, Justin David Critten's standing might have went up a little bit. He might have a little bit more to say about a Shang-Chi too and what he want to put in. Yeah, Q Hefner, there is no O in Suns. I mean, there's no U in Midnight Suns. Just outed yourself, bro. You just outed yourself. It's all cool until we found out you're a young person who don't know shit about the Midnight Suns. So, as a boy child. Not sun as in rise. Autocorrect. Okay. Whatever. Let's see. I probably shouldn't let anybody in. Nobody has done it. That's 2 hours. That's a movie, folks. So I guess I can go ahead and get out of here because I haven't had breakfast yet. It's past noon. So I should be eating something. Oh, it's hot ass roll in the middle of the day. Yeah. Well, thank you guys for coming through after I was late. I had to get on the road and get that part of it done first. But those are just some of the thoughts that were running around in my head. Thought I had some other notes. Oh, there you go. The teleprompter is working. Yeah, I touched on it. Touched on everything. Said the guy with his first trip to the strip club. Touched on everything. Yep, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here so I can eat. So I will be in Vegas for this next week. Probably see me stream a lot more because I'm on vacation. So I can do that when I'm on vacation. Got the captain's tournament on Thursday. So between now and Thursday, I can play in as many tournaments as I choose and play for money, get my standings up. So if you happen to be in Vegas near the Westgate, come on through. You'll probably find me in there shooting pool. It's free to enter. Come through and shoot. Look for the dude with the best geek shirt on. It'll probably be me, and you'll probably find me near a table because I brought plenty of Punisher shirts, and I can guarantee I will probably be the only one wearing them. But I'm looking to have a good time. Play with my folks. I even got some of my 9-ball team coming down. So that should be fun. We gotta have dinner one night and get them used to what's happening. And since I'm the captain of one of the captain's teams, it's my job to bring the new players who have never been down here to our uh, world tournament of how everything works and you know what's this? What's this? You know, show them around and shit like that. Because it can be overwhelming the first time you're there and not knowing what to expect and what to do. And my job is to get them over the nerves of the whole situation. Like, yes, a lot of people here. Yeah, everybody's not looking at you. Fuck them people. Like, focus on the table in your game, how you play your game on the table. And let's beat these motherfuckers. Because I've already looked at the brackets. The bracket is already up. I got five. We got 5 matches. We win 5 matches. We in the finals. I would like to be in the finals. I was just here in April, and I was close to the semis with my Jack and Jill. So now with the captains, I got a couple of good shooters on my team. I just need to get them over the nerves of the situation and used to the table, the speed of the table, so we can go make a good show. Fortunately, my shirts have not showed up yet for the team, so hopefully they will show up today or tomorrow. So the teammate that's coming down later can grab them from my house and bring them. But I like to make a good show. I like to represent well. So my side, my town, my city, my division, my league. motherfuckers on notice. I would like somebody to say when they leave this tournament, man, I played against a good team from California. Them motherfuckers. That's what I want somebody to say. Let them recognize he was in a fucking fight. It's all on the table, but oh, them motherfuckers was good. So people watch, pay attention. What you talking about, Triv? I believe that's true. I believe a black man is one who made that shit. Anyway, let me do that. And I think I'll come back Saturday. So Sunday I'll be on another on the road trip. Well, that's it. Thank you guys for coming through today and watching brother on the lake tip. And I will see you guys next time. Peace. It's the wrong thing. It's the wrong thing. We got music and shit on this. Got music and shit. There we go. Peace, y'all.